welcome, everybody, to another great episode of Real Life Matters. And of course, I am your host, DBoss, and I'm just hoping that everybody's been doing their laughing tips because I'm getting a lot of good response that people said they're feeling better, they're looking good because and it lowers your blood pressure. It also tones your abs, but I'm saying just don't stop going to the gym because of that. You gotta, keep going to the gym. It also makes you look youthful. People have been doing it. Don't tell me that you don't have anybody that you can laugh with because you can phone somebody. You can put something on with all the streaming. You can find something funny to do the laughing. Just don't keep yourself so strict and stern and because people don't want to see people like that all the times. And if you have one of those jobs where you gotta be like that, well, at least come home or at least give yourself a half hour to just, break out and do what you got to do and laugh. So I want to thank the viewers also for watching me Monday to Friday. You can see me on CaribVision, BellFibe. We're in 28 different countries, including London, UK, also through the various USA networks, and also in Canada, BellFibe channel 658 if you have that on your cable box. And it's 12 million daily viewers. So, and these are people that actually sit at home and are watching through TV. So, and if you want to be a part of this show, just don't be afraid to reach out to me. You can send me an email, media@dbossnetworks.com. And, just be patient. I will get back to you and answer you. But just be available when I do send you back the email and you can respond. So we're going to hear from one of our sponsors, Vital Steps to Vital Health. And I'll be right back. I have a special guest here for you.
Welcome to your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. I'm Joanne James. Today we're going to talk about working out when you have a cold. I get that question quite frequently. Is it a good idea to work out when I have the cold? Well, if you have sniffles, maybe a runny nose, maybe not so bad. You don't want to work out intensely. However, if you have chills and a fever, stay home, take care of your body. Now, when you're exercising, if you have a cold, make sure that you don't work out too intensely. Stay from a basic to moderate intensity workout. And again, if you do have a flu or if you have the chills, don't work out at home. And if you're going to work out, try not to go into a gym or a club to do this. All you're going to do is pass your germs around. So remember, if you have a cold, take your time, let your body heal, then go back to working out at your full intensity when you're ready. I'm Joanne James. This has been your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. We'll see you later.
Well, thank you, Joanne James, for that tip. Because a lot of people always want to know, can I work out? Or they think they should work out. So she gave the answer and all the precautionaries. But we got somebody here. I know him. He knows me. But we seem like we can't really know where we connected at. But, I know people out there will probably give me an answer maybe to where. Because, there's so many people I see all the time. And so many people are at me. So sometimes I just can't remember every single thing that I want to remember. But he is the publisher, award-winning of ByBlacks.com, and everybody, you like to support this, and stuff like that. So he's going to tell us he's having a festival called National Restaurant Week. So he's going to tell us about how he started the magazine, why he wanted to start this online magazine, all the stuff that goes with it for his journey. So with no further ado, I introduce to you Roger DUNDAS.
Thank you so much, the boss. Thank you for having me on this Thursday, bright and sunny evening. Yes, we do need to laugh some more, eh? We need to laugh.
Well, do you do it? Do you do it or you don't do it?
You have to, especially in this environment of inflation, food inflation, stress, high interest rates, and all these things. I mean, come on. You have to find something to
because everything is so high. We're living in Ontario where everything is high now.
Crazy.
It's crazy. I don't know. We're gonna have to get a portable house, I think.
Well, this is why I started growing food. I used to have flowers in my backyard, and I said, you know what? Enough with the flowers because I can't eat them. I'm gonna grow as much produce as I can in my backyard. scallion, thyme, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers. What else is out there? There's a good amount of food. Peppers, bell peppers, Scotch
Oh, bell
bonnet peppers.
peppers. You do the
Oh yeah,
hot
oh
peppers
yeah.
too?
Yeah, I do hot peppers too. If I could raise chickens out there, I'd do it too.
You're
So
taking
you'd
people
be
back to the
surprised.
Caribbean. You're taking people
I'm
back to the
telling you,
Caribbean. It's true,
it's
you
it's not just the Caribbean, you know. I mean, people up here are doing it. People who have like that live semi-rural to rural, they are definitely having their chicken coops up there. There's some people even hydroponics with they're growing fish and then vegetables on top because the fish nutrient. It's a whole movement.
Wow. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
man.
You know, the chicken thing, it's because somebody asked me the other day, oh, Darty, can you kill the chicken? I said, listen,
You can eat it though. You can
I
eat it,
can
but you're
eat
not
it.
killing it.
I can season it up and make the best food with it, but I am not going to do that. So some people are looking at me like, excuse me, didn't your mother and them? I said, no, we were raised in Canada.
Oh, ouch, ouch. No, I remember my grandmother. I remember my grandmother killing the chicken and draining it, putting it upside down, draining out the blood. And that's the freshest, nicest chicken I've ever had. I'm telling you, man. You can't get it better than that.
And
That's the
brain bread.
original free-range organic chicken.
And those
Growing
chickens
in,
taste real good, but some people, like, you
telling
know,
you.
like my brother was saying, he saw my aunt doing it, and he says, you know what? I can't take it. He said, just call me when the chicken is finished cooked.
He not into no cutting, he not into no plucking, he just into the eating. I
No, but
get
he
that.
didn't know that was it had to be running around, and I guess he didn't think of the whole process. It was like that. So
And you know, you still have that cannot eat chicken soup. They cannot do it. Yeah, the sight of the chicken foot just turns them off. It's
I
weird
can't do that.
because
I
we
can't
grew
do
up
that.
on
A lot
that.
of people like it, but and then you got to ask people to make sure if this chicken soup with the chicken, the drumsticks and stuff in it, or does this have the foot actually? And you got to ask people because they'll serve you the both. And I'm not having it. I don't want no toe or no foot
Oh
or
my
nothing. Just
god, boss!
oh,
You're so bad.
it just
So
turns
you
me right
had a
off. I don't know
question.
how people
Oh my god, you had
like
a
here
question.
at Real Life Matters. We like to know where everybody's background, where they come from, and their culture.
So I'm born and grown in Kingston, Jamaica. That's
Oh, you're
where I
from
grew.
Jamaica? I thought you're from
I'm
Trinidad or
from
something.
Jamaica. No man, no all you come up here giving me Trinidad accent, because no, no,
You
I
get
am
that a
Jamaican.
lot. I guess you get that a lot, right? People don't expect
No,
you to
I
be from.
don't. I do not.
No,
Everybody who hears me speak, they say
you
you're
know, in
Jamaican.
Jamaica.
Yeah, they know you're Jamaican, man. They know you're Jamaican. But yeah, so I was born in Jamaica. I immigrated here in 2000, right after the Y2K craziness, and I've been here
Oh,
since 24 years. This June 12th is going to be 24 years exactly. So
wow.
you know.
So, what made you want to start and call ByBlacks.com and start that?
There's a long version, there's a short version of the story. I mean, basically, what had happened is that I had a background in producing events. So from 2006 to about 2011, I produced dance productions, theater productions, comedy,
Oh, okay.
spoken word. It's an array of different theater,
Oh
and
yes, that's what it is. You did that, and then you did the on
the
blacks came. Okay,
marketing, right,
okay,
right. So what had happened is that we went through, and I'm an active producer, so I would leave the stage stuff to the experts and then do the marketing really, so that was really what it was. And we lost enough money that we said, you know what, we don't want to do this anymore. But there were certain key learnings from the marketing that we still had. So we started this
okay,
company, first marketing company was 404 Media Group. So we started off 404 Media Group, my wife and I. The 404 was the number of the apartment that we lived in. That's the name, right? So started this company, and we were working with a lot of arts clients, and we're representing different types of people. We just realized that if you had a black person and a white person with the same background, and if you're trying to pitch them to the media, chances are the white person would get the interview opportunities and not the black person. So we started looking around, and at the time there were a number of platforms. Some of them still exist, like Share News still exists, Caribbean Camera, Pride News was still there at the time. Sway Magazine, remember Sway Magazine?
Yes, I remember them.
Right. So Sway was owned by Toronto Star. You had Afro Toronto, Planet Africa at the time, which is now Afro Global. So there was a couple different black media at the time, but I didn't feel like they were focused totally on the black Canadian experience. They would have either Caribbean stories in their publications, or they would have African stories in their publications. And we kind of felt like, you know what? There's enough black Canadian stories for us to just focus on that. So not to talk about anybody from the States or England or the Caribbean or anything, but just who is here, right here in Canada. So that was it. So we had that thought because of what we were seeing happening to some of our clients. And then I guess when, I started doing the planning process, and I was, trying to analyze what the profit and this and that, and do a business plan, because my background is actually in accounting. So I'm going through that process. Yeah. I'm going through that process.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Accounting and auditing of all things. Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah. So I'm going through the process. And then in the middle of it, in August 2012, Sway Magazine closed down. To me, that Sway was like one of the best, because Toronto Star was back in it. And the coverage there was awesome. But one of the things that I noticed that they didn't do is they didn't build out their online platform enough. So if you remember back 12 years ago, it was really print focused. Everything was about print, newspaper, print, magazines. That's it. They didn't see that change was coming. Change was coming. So we saw it, and we decided to start fast track. We weren't ready to start in February 2013, but we started anyway. An online magazines telling Black Canadian stories. That's it. That's how we got started. And there's a little bit of backstory too, in that one of the reasons why we started too is that as 404 Media Group, we would go across the city and we would try to, do guerrilla marketing. We had different teams, like, back in the day, flyering, postering, dropping off stuff in barbershops, restaurants, right? We had a master list of over 400 locations across the GTA into Hamilton, Cambridge, Kitchener-Waterloo, up to Barrie, and all the way across to, at the time, Oshawa. We didn't even, Bowmanville wasn't a thing then, right? In terms of salons, restaurants, right? So we had this list.
The Whitby in that area used to just be where people used to go for vacation.
Bush, Whiteby. That's what I used to call it, Whiteby, right? So we're looking at this list. And one of the things that I noticed about the list is that I would say at the time, 75% of the businesses didn't even have a website. That's 2012. That's 2012, 2011, 2012. Now it's a different thing. It's probably about 45. Maybe 35 still don't have a website, right? So that was another thing. So we said, okay, in this online magazine, we're also going to have a directory, a business directory that can give them a presence, right? Free. It's a free directory, because we were just interested in making sure that we had these locations available. So that's the genesis story. Camille is a journalist trained at Carleton. She had worked at CP24, CBC, City TV. So, her thing is journalism, writing, and all of that. So we said, okay, this is a combination. I'll deal with the business side, you deal with the editorial side. And that's how ByBlacks got started. From humble beginnings of having 5 writers to having had over 125 writers. Let me say 100. Over 100 writers have contributed to ByBlacks at this point. Yeah. And we've won.
You might get an extra one, because I got some great stories on my.
Hey, I'll connect you to Camille, because I don't deal with editorial. This is a misconception. A lot of people pitch me stories, and I'm like, I'm not the decision maker. I'm not the person. I purposely stay out of the editorial side. Purposely so. So that's the origin story. And then, over the years, we because I was a promoter / producer and I was used to dealing with the different, black community associations and the different people, the media and everything. It was natural for me to still try to work with them and build out ByBlacks. So a lot, if you go back and look at a lot of the stories, there'll be stories on all the different black community associations across the country. So we're national. We're not Ontario. Yeah, we're
Okay,
based
so
in
you're not just
Ontario.
Ontario based.
Not at
So
all.
you can get stories from Nova Scotia,
We have stories. We
Vancouver,
just
all
wrote a
over.
story about Portia White, the opera singer who was from Nova
Yes.
Scotia. We just published that article this week. So
Wow.
yeah, so we have
Well, there's
stories.
so
I mean,
many great people out there because
yeah,
they got a lot of big the black businesses out there that are doing things because I see because they're coming on, and you're like, wow, like I'm
yeah,
supposed to do a black farmer that's out in Ottawa, and this other one he's supposed to come on. He does energy he sells the
okay,
energy. He has so many different avenues of energy, but he lives in Nova Scotia too. But he's a Barbadian.
okay,
So yeah,
okay,
there's so many
okay.
people that they're hidden. They're hidden. I don't know. They're hiding behind the rock or the cliff.
You know what I notice about the community, the black community in Canada, is that you see the people that are really making serious money, you don't really see them because they don't have
You
the
don't
time.
see them.
No, they don't have the time. I know people who are building up 65 unit townhouse complexes. I know other people that have large manufacturing facilities, running companies here, even with me where I am, working with Walmart and Staples and all that. So big clients, making millions of dollars. Multimillionaires. They're not out there on social media really. I mean, it's not really. That's not
They
their
don't
thing.
have time. And then when they
Head
book the
down.
time, it's for you and to tell the story, or for me, sometimes you're lucky if they come or they
That's
show
so
up
true.
because
That's
sometimes
so true.
something always happens.
That's so true. That is so true. And I
Yeah.
mean, we've gone through one of the things that I remember we did in, I think it was 2017, we did something called Black History 365. So what we did is
Oh,
every day of the year, we covered some little tidbit of Black Canadian history. Things that happened a long time ago, and change makers at the time. And it was such an educational process for many Black Canadians because they didn't know. You come here, you just don't know, right? Even for me, even though I was involved in some of the selection of the different people that we were covering and everything, it was still very educational for me. The different stories from Vancouver all the way over to Prince Edward Island.
and then the
there's
black
everywhere.
history, and then the black Roger, the black history here, because all the Americans think that all the black history and the slavery was over there, but they got to remember is that most of them ran here to Canada,
Yeah.
and came here. So what did they do here? Because a lot of them came through Owen Sound, all those places, and which I learned, just like last year, I was like, what?
Yeah. Well,
And they're
slavery
forgetting.
was
And
here
they're
too.
forgetting
Well, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize that Canadians own slaves too,
that.
right? So that's something else that a lot of people said. Oh, we were the good guys. We freed the enslaved American Africans, and they came
Yeah,
over
but
here and all of that. No, 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 no. That's not true. That's not totally true. They were enslaved here as well too. It's just that because it's so cold, there's no opportunity during the winter months to make money. There's no
right.
crop, right? So you have to release them because they're like, oh, I can't afford to keep slaves during the winter time. So it didn't make sense. It was an economical thing. If we had the South, like America, yeah, it would have been a different Canada. What can I tell you?
The
Would have been
Canada
a
will be the same
different,
thing. But a lot
different
of
Canada.
famous people came here that were slaves and ran here and came here. So they built a life. Like I'm from Saskatchewan, and when my parents came from Barbados and went there and was in Saskatchewan, then like there was not a lot of people over there either. Not a lot of black, and the ones that were there that were black
Oh,
people were like,
yeah.
wow. Wait a minute, where are you? Where are you? Like they see you coming down the street. Wait, you pull up, you don't be passing us. We don't
What's funny?
like
We
that. We stop
still
you. do you live? You could come. Well, you could either come over to our house tonight, or
Well, we still do the black man nod. You see somebody and you're like, you know, we still
but
do it, even in Whitby here.
west, you had to pull over the car and get out and greet yourself.
Yeah, man. Oh
Where
boy,
you
I'm
live,
telling you, man. I'm
and
telling
they
you.
don't know anybody over there. So and my parents and my dad, he was like, "Don't come. You're gonna come over. We can come by your house. We can come over." It was
That's
very, and
fun.
then we saw Spanish, something, but it was different, But
Yeah.
a lot of the cowboys and the black people and the cowboys live out there. So there's a lot of history, and I just found out when they had that Yukon thing, when they had the fires out there,
Yeah,
Northwest Territories. There's a lot of a big black community out there, and you're thinking, well, who lives up
absolutely.
there? Anybody else?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of, I think there's a lot of teachers up there. I know
Yeah.
I've had some friends, cousins go up there to teach school.
Oh
And,
yeah. Oh, people.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you get paid well, but there's nothing to do up there. I mean, it's just,
What are you gonna do?
unless
Because I
ice
think
fishing.
I think it's 6 months dark and 6 months light up there, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. That's great. I couldn't do that. I couldn't manage it.
All right.
I could not. I could not. So
That's
we
why
did
most
that.
parents coming back to Toronto or Montreal. People can't live up there. Like if you're exposed to this type of lifestyle, it's very hard to go into that.
The Black History 65, very successful campaign, and we've done a lot of stories about Black history as well. As I said, a Portia White story was a very interesting story, even to me.
Wow.
She's an opera singer that was hired all over the world to perform, one of the best opera singers in the world ever. Black woman from Nova Scotia. So, these stories, a lot of people don't really know these stories. Even Viola Desmond, the $10 bill. Most people didn't even know who she was. So we had our own Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying? But people didn't know.
People didn't. We didn't even know. We wasn't even looking at the $10 bill. And it was
I'm telling you. Yeah.
People loved it because a lot of people wasn't even, because you're not really paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you look and you see it, and then somebody said, "Hey," and somebody put it up on, I think it was in Facebook, and we said, "Wait a minute!" And we looked at the $10 bill. I said, "Oh my God, yeah, there's a black person on there."
Yeah, I think we're proud of the fact that we have really helped a lot of people by us covering them. What often happens is that mainstream media will look at the articles. So Black History Month rolls along. They're looking for stories to cover during Black History Month. They come and look on ByBlacks. And they say, okay, hey, here's an interesting story. Why don't we pull this person on and interview them? And we've seen that happen many times. We have even referred, they're like, the mainstream media, they'll reach out to us and say, do you know a black specialist that's a realtor or a lawyer or whatever? And we have people that we can refer that we know are camera ready and good to speak. So those are things that we've done. Very proud to have done things like that, to give people an opportunity to get more exposure and make more money.
But I tell people, I feel, it's my opinion, Black history is just not for February. It's every day.
Black history is every day for me. Be it
every day.
Although I must admit, February is a little bit of a Christmas celebration.
Right.
I won't lie. It's a good month. Because it's a good month. A lot of people.
Yeah, because look at when the festivals all come up. It's all for the whole, right down. So we're celebrating history all the way down. So for ByBlacks.com, so what's going to happen? So what are you going to do to enhance it more?
Yeah, so that's always a good question, and these are things that the team, I talk with my tech support team, and the thing is, we have already made the site as fast as it can be. I think we're under a second in terms of the load speed, so that's great. We have 100% ranking on Google with the load speed and the indexing and the things that we work on now, and which is why we're number one. Top ranked is the search engine optimization. A lot of people they ignore that part of their website. So, you know, a lot of people get this beautiful looking website, but it's actually not optimized for performance on the web, right? So just let me use this analogy. It's like you hire a very good graphic artist, right? Amazing graphic, best in the world. And you say, develop a billboard for me to promote my business. And then you take that billboard and you put it up in the Yukon. How many people are going to see it? That's what people keep doing every day. They build these websites. They don't optimize their site. Their images are not properly named. The content isn't, they're not looking for the keywords to insert them into the text copy. They're not integrating. They're not getting enough backlinks, internal links, etc. So, and that's just something, and it's funny because my quote unquote competitors, I actually tell them to do that. So I'm not even saying to them, hey, and I'm talking about Black media now. I'm saying to them, make sure that your content is optimized. I'll even run the report and show them sometimes and say, hey, look at this. You guys need to fix this thing, right? You want to earn some more money, you need to be using Google Ad Manager to serve your ads on it. You know, things like that. I'm telling them to do it. If they don't do it, then that's right on them. You know? So, yeah,
well, you know, I was having a discussion. We were having a discussion with somebody. You know, everybody's got to pull and help each other. It doesn't matter. You know, you get back anyways. You know, like let's everybody do well. Because a lot of people say, well, you got other people. Yeah, you know, everybody can do well. There's enough room. I other people come on and they have shows. They said, oh, well, yeah. I said, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not afraid of, you know what.
As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this.
It's cross-promotion.
Every time an agency reaches out to me and they're like, you know, okay, we want to do a specific buy. And I mean, the truth is we have limited capacity for promotion. When I mean limited, there's so much we can do for a client, for one client and no more. We need multiple clients, right? So if one client comes in and they have a massive budget, we can't even fill that budget. So when that situation comes up, I'm looking at my peers in the media and saying, hey, client, why don't you advertise with these other guys as well? You can ask them. I've referred almost every Black media organization that exists in Canada to clients that I work with. Wow. That's the thing. So, and I say this to say, okay, we're going to talk about Restaurant Week in a second. They support us 100%. So, you know, when people say, oh, Black people don't work together and Black people with that.
That's not true, because what about me, you? There's people out there that work together, work. Correct. You know, maybe the ones that they work is not doing what they're supposed to do. That's
I don't know. I'm just saying my experience is,
you know, we're just saying from experience, you know what I mean? Like maybe if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, maybe that's the problem. You know what I mean? And maybe it's not other people not wanting to work. Maybe it's them that don't want to work. So
I think it's an issue. It's like an issue. It's not me. Right?
It's a different issue.
It's you.
It can be about business. If you're coming to a business person and you're having a problem, then that's not a business. It's a personal.
It's a personal thing. I tell you, the community is very supportive, especially with you know, Restaurant Week is something that we were thinking of doing from as early as 2018, actually. And, you know, we were looking at it, trying to figure out how to do it, what was the best approach and everything. And we settled on it being a national campaign. So we were trying to say, okay, how can we have restaurants from right across the country to help them to market? So we did start out, you know, we made mistakes and everything. And I think every time we do it, this is the 7th edition. This is the 4th year of doing it, but the 7th time. So we do it twice. We do it twice a year in May and November. And I think every time we do it, you
put on the National Restaurant Week or something.
Yeah, twice a year in the spring and the fall. It's a ByBlacks National Restaurant Week, so it's only for Black-owned restaurants, food trucks, bakeries.
Well, I got one to tell you, so we'll tell you off air because I got a good one. And I don't think they're going to match that one.
Okay, we'll talk off the air. So,
yes.
So what the Restaurant Week is a very simple concept. The restaurants provide either a prefix menu. So the prefix is an appetizer, entree, dessert at single price, and it's discounted. So, you know, they're picking stuff off of their menu. that's existed. So that's one way to participate. The second way to participate is like smaller restaurants that are more geared to takeout, or like single items like bakeries or patty shops or juice bars or ice cream stores. The stores like that, we offered them. We said, okay, you know what? Do a $10 menu. That's the first time we're doing it. Actually, this year.
They doing it at their place, or they come in to wherever you guys
are doing it there. So the restaurants,
okay.
The restaurants register to participate.
Oh, okay.
They offer the discount. We promote what they're doing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that's the thing.
They have a food truck, and you'll tell the people to go to the food truck in that area.
Here's a special, correct. Here's a special that they're offering. So how we do that, it's a very, very intense process of it.
It sounds like
obviously we're in Ontario. There's no way I can go everywhere, right? So what we've tried to do, we've tried to work with the Black community associations that exist in the different provinces and cities. So there are different ones, like in Vancouver it's the BBABC, in Halifax it's the BBI and the Atlantic. There's Black associations in New Brunswick, in PEI, in Newfoundland, obviously in Quebec, in Ontario. There are several ones in Ontario. There are national ones and there are geographic ones, right? So like more regional. So we work with them to reach out to the restaurants that are in their area of influence, and they kind of inform them about the restaurant. And promise as well to support it by promoting them. The second group that we work with are the what we call the destination marketing organizations. So that's like Destinations Canada, Destination Toronto, in Vancouver it's Destination Vancouver, in Edmonton it's Explore.
So what do you mean? Is it people coming into the destination of Toronto, or is it just that's what you're calling it? Like
no. So the destination marketing organizations are like tourism boards.
The tourism, yes, okay.
Right. So the tourism boards, they have a vested interest because they're always trying to find a way to encourage people to come into a city and go to the restaurants and all that. So they're very vested in it. They promote it on their social media and on their and newsletters, and some of them even hire influencers to come to their cities to visit the restaurants in the cities, right? So that's the second group. The third group, of course, we mentioned earlier, are the Black media. So the Black media and podcasters as well. Podcasters, TV, radio, print. They're interviewing the different restaurants. Because really and truly, it's not about me. I mean, I came on the show to talk with you, sure, to tell you about ByBlacks. But generally speaking, I want people to interview the restaurant owners because the stories are just simply amazing. Right?
It is. They are. I've done
business. Tough business. Tough business. And they work hard to try and keep the lights on. So the Black media, we will also work with social media influencers as well, because that's an important part of the equation, just to get them out there to visit different restaurants. And then of course we try to advertise, since we are banned currently off of Meta because of the Online News Act. We are advertising.
No, it's so stupid that I just don't get it. I don't know what's happened. Yeah. That just they gotta just bring back the Facebook how it was.
Yeah, it's crazy. So nobody can see our content right now on Instagram and Facebook. So until that,
what are you guys advertise as a news? Did you put down news?
We actually have a category on our site that is news. So we have tried to petition them, and they said,
"Oh, okay."
Yeah, so they're not allowing it. So until they change that, I'm not spending another dollar on any of their platforms. So we advertise currently on Pinterest, TikTok. We'll advertise on LinkedIn, Google, and Pinterest, right? So those are the platforms that will spend the money right now. So we do that as well. And it's a lot of people. I'm telling you, I feel like just the Black community associations alone, that's probably about 25 associations. The destination marketing organizations is probably like another 12 group of people.
Right.
The Black media, maybe another 12. And then different interest groups, special interest groups. So the idea is to get sponsors that see a benefit to to promote these restaurants, and probably, you know, they can get some business, of course, and awareness by doing it. And
Yeah.
that's how we've been trying to fund it. So it's a
Well,
self-funded
you know, they
thing.
can always come on and the show here, you know, because they get people
But
get
this
to
is
know
it.
them and show their food,
This is
know
it.
their food, know what they are. Because I've had some, yeah, I've had a restaurant that came on. What's it, Vagabondo, and they had just they've been around, but they do food from Rome. The owner is from Rome, and his wife is from I think Persia. Yeah, Persia, and they had the restaurant. And they came on here, bam. It's
Nice.
full. It's booked. You can't. Everybody they saw it. So
Yeah.
then I had another guy now.
Amazing.
You know, so you know, people don't
I-
think,
I-
you know, but they get. You know, I have to. I know the specific questions to ask them so that the people can come in. So, and it's good to do it at where you're at your location, but you know, just pick a
Right.
time that it's
Yeah.
quiet.
Yep.
Quieter, so that you can, you know, people can see that you're in the place. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. So the restaurants, I mean, you know, the good thing about the restaurant is that there's so much different. The last is, of course, have a publicity team that is pitching them to the media. So, for example, yesterday, there were, you know, there have been several interviews so far with different restaurants. And
Okay.
yesterday, 3 of them appeared on the CTV show, The Good Stuff with Mary Berg. So that was Edible Bliss 11. They're on Dundas Street doing a pop-up. Scott Hill, that's on Avenue Road. And Kingston 12, that is down in Little Jamaica.
Okay.
So
Eglinton. You mean Eglinton, Oakwood area, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what we try to do.
People don't know what it is. Maybe we know, but some people don't know, you know?
Absolutely. So that's what we do. We kind of, the goal is to bring awareness to Black-owned restaurants and promote them. One of the things I noticed too is that most restaurants do not market themselves enough. Either they don't do it enough or they don't do it well. One or two things, and they've admitted it because you know.
I know they don't, and they don't want.
What's happening?
I don't even want to say because
I get what's happening, right? You have these restaurants. I mean, most Black-owned restaurants, let's be honest, family run. You know, mom and pop, auntie, mother and daughter, mother and
make
son,
the food
whatever, right?
consistently the same way.
Right. So the food is great. I've yet to go to a Black-owned restaurant where the food is terrible. I swear, I've been to over 300 restaurants across the country, right? And I've never really. I mean, there's, and I'm not big, right? Yeah, but there's good, very, very good ones, and there's okay ones, but not terrible. I can't think of well, actually, you know what? I can think of a restaurant that was terrible, but they closed.
Roger.
They closed.
Yeah.
No, they closed already.
If it's not, to me, for me to going to a restaurant, the food has to be seasoned properly.
Yeah.
No matter, I don't care if it's the vegetables or whatever.
Yeah.
And it has to be cooked properly, and it also has to taste the same every time I come. If I come and 1 minute it's like this and it's like this, then you're gonna get a rating of X.
But you know, let's be honest. I mean, we've all been to Tim Hortons, right?
Yeah.
And every now and then I'd go there and have like the egg sandwich with cheese, and it has tasted different at different Tim Hortons locations. So and I still buy it. So this is the thing. I think we need to be a little bit more patient with our own people. It's not going to be exactly the same every time. It's not. And I can say that for
I've been in places and it's been exactly the same every time I've went.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've been to some roti shops and the roti tastes the same way
every time.
I got it last week to this week.
Yeah, I've been to several restaurants where, like, even just recently, I remember I went to have some jerk chicken somewhere, and I tasted it, I'm like, wow, it's so different from how it normally tastes. I don't know. But I'm going to stick
And
with it. You know what?
bones don't work, and if you don't have any meat on the chicken, that's not chicken.
It's rabbit. But
Okay?
there's some fantastic restaurants in
And
the
not
program.
having any oxtail on the bone is not oxtail.
There's
Go
no
to the
idea.
farm and get the flipping oxtail to make it worthwhile for people. I didn't ask for oxtail bones.
Yeah. So there's
Or not
restaurants.
vegan.
I hear you. There's restaurants participating from British Columbia, from
Mm-hmm.
Alberta, from Ontario, from Quebec, and from Halifax and New Brunswick. So 6 different provinces.
Well, I have
Uh,
family that cooks very well, so we're very critical.
yeah. But you know what? What's good though? I
I
know I
cook
cook.
very
I
well.
cook well as well. And the
Okay.
thing is, I don't like to cook all the time. So that's the
Mm.
thing. So I know, okay, if I'm not cooking, I'm gonna take 80% of my dine out money and I'm giving it to a black restaurant. 80% at
Mm-hmm.
least.
Well, that's true.
That's how I
That's
work
fair.
it. That's how I work it.
Fair.
Other communities giving us 0. So hey, I'm just saying.
All right. So, are there any shout outs for this when you're having this any shout
Restaurant
outs that
week?
you want to give your people or anything so they can keep
Absolutely.
contributing to your magazine, your online?
Absolutely. So first of all, follow us at ByBlacks on most platforms. I think on Facebook it's at ByBlacks Canada. Restaurant Week is happening actually next week, May 20th to the 26th. As I said,
Mhm.
there's over 40 restaurants
40.
participating, 40 participating from 6 provinces. There's actually seven kickoff events happening simultaneously on Monday, May the 20th, between 6 and 9. Different time zones, different restaurants. So we have one restaurant from Vancouver, Calabash Bistro, beautiful space. We have a restaurant in Halifax called the Opus Cafe and Catering, another amazing space and food. It's like a chorus, it's a black-owned chorus. The food is
Wow.
amazing, right? Their special is chicken and waffles, I believe. And then in between that, we have a Jamaican restaurant in Windsor, Seal Vibes. They're hosting an event.
Okay.
Ellis Kitchen in Hamilton, CaribVision Barrie, Scott Hill Caribbean Cuisine in Toronto, and Laz Catering up in Markham. Let me tell you something. These restaurants, I've actually dined at every
You
one,
ate sweet in there.
right? Except for Sailor. So Sailor took over from another lady that called Diva Vibes, and I had the Diva Vibes food last year,
Okay.
June. I took the tourism board from Windsor there to have lunch, and the food was amazing. We cleaned up every plate, right? So, and I understand that the food is the same quality of the new owner. So that is a good thing. And at the end of the day, let me tell you something, boss. This is about community, because what it is for Black people. We want to be in spaces where we feel welcome, where we'll see other people that we may know, where we can get our own food. I think that's very important for us, especially for newcomers. You land and, whether you're from Ghana, Jamaica, Trinidad, whatever, one of the first things you want to say, where can I find my food, guy? So that is important. You go there and then you see other things, flyers, whatever, events are happening, business people, whatever. It's strange to not think, especially in Toronto. There was a time when there were so many Black-owned restaurants / event spaces that were having poetry, different events, networking events. They were happening every week. You think about like
Wow.
Train Studio. Remember Train Studio, Harlem Restaurant, the Muse. If you remember those spots, those are spots that people would go to. That was like somewhere, yay, wow, where can you go? Hey, let's go here. You knew that you'd go there and you'd probably run into somebody that you know. It makes you feel connected, right? So that's what it's
Well,
all about.
well, I think everybody's gonna be well connected when they go see these restaurants and go over
They
there.
need to.
And,
So
of course, they're gonna give them feedback. And you know what? I even encourage you all to give Roger Dundas feedback. We're putting him on the spot now
yeah,
because
man, give good feedback.
I don't mind paying if the food is, but sometimes it's not. But
one of
you
my
already paid for it already. But you're like, you know what? If they can't impress you like that, it's
if
got to
you
be
like
good. It's got to be good.
if you like oxtail, I'm going to encourage you to try. So Potluck Caribbean Cuisine. They have 4 locations in Mississauga and 1 location in Waterloo. But the Mississauga locations are participating in Restaurant Week.
Right.
Their special.
It's gonna be on. It's gonna be on Roger. It's gonna be on dinner's. Gonna be on Roger because
Hold on.
we
Their
gotta try it.
special.
We gotta try it first.
Not on me. But their special is an oxtail meal that's normally sold for $16.95, and they're giving it during Restaurant Week for $10.
Wow, for oxtail.
Oxtail meal. So if you love oxtail, potluck. All right. So there are different types of restaurants. There's 2 juice bars, Classic Juice and Supreme Juice. One of them is down on Eglinton as well. And there's a gourmet chocolate company, black owned, that's in my hometown of Whitby. It's one of the best chocolates I've ever tasted. Like I have to try and stay out of it. One More Coke is the name of that establishment. Because she knows when I come in there, I'm like, oh my God, give me this, give me that, give me that, give me that, And my kids go crazy. My kids go crazy over it, man. There's so many restaurants. And to be honest with you, the best, beat me up everybody, but the best black-owned restaurant I've been to in terms of service, the decor, and the food quality is Miss Liquormore's. They're on King Street. They're also the most expensive. They were the most expensive restaurant. And for
King Street, where, downtown or where?
King and Spadina. They are by none the best service I've received.
Okay.
And from any black-owned restaurant. And the restaurants give great service. And because I know most of the owners, I get great service. But Miss Liquormore's is special. I gotta say,
they are really special. All right, people. You're hearing Roger say this, right? So don't call DBoss.
Call me the boss.
Call Roger DUNDAS. Okay, that told you that.
Everybody's different tastes, right? People have different tastes, but I think I've been to enough restaurants to know like what works. To me, it's the trifecta of the space is nice, right? The food is good, and the service is good.
And the service.
That's if you can get those 3 things, then you're good. What I find is some restaurants, they do focus on the food and the service, but the space is, not so hot, right?
But as long as the food is good, that's where you're going for, to get the food, right?
Well, this is a lot of people because if you think about it, there's so many Chinese restaurants that we go to, and the services, it's not, it's just, you go out of the food, you go, but the food tastes good, right? So you keep going back. You don't care about the service. The food tastes good. I think we need to get into that motion as well with black-owned restaurants. The people who are critical of, people say them not have that and all. I say, come on, man. If the food tastes good, support your restaurant. Tell them to their face, hey, you could, treat me better, or give them the Google review, right?
Or you tell them before, listen to me. This wasn't.
You better treat me good enough. You better treat me good.
I don't know what you're doing here, but we're gonna go write some, and then no. But anyways, so if people want to keep up with you, where can they find you? Just on all the medias. Well, no, they said you can't really, you're not supporting Facebook. Can you find you on Instagram?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, but we're on TikTok at ByBlacks, ByBlacks. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter X, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and just to keep in mind, this ban that Meta has put on all the news organizations, it only affects Canadians. So if you're in the States, you can see everything. What? If you're in Barbados and you're accessing the website, you can see all the Instagram content.
I was wondering, I said, what come they say something that I'm Canadian? You can't see.
It's just Instagram and Facebook, our pages. You're not seeing
That's
the
terrible.
in Canada. If you have a VPN and the VPN IP addresses in the States, you can see the content that's on our social
Wow.
media, at IG and Facebook. So we're hoping, I mean, we've petitioned the government, our media organization has petitioned the government. We, you know, several media houses have petitioned the government. We're hoping that that law can be reversed.
Yeah. Well, you know, Roger, this has been, you know, I can't even believe the time just went by.
I'm telling you. We haven't even scratched the surface.
I know. And you got to come back and do phase 2.
Phase 2, part 2. I'll come back when it's the fall edition.
Yes.
You know, I'll come back when
I
it's the fall
want
edition.
you to come back and then we can go into some more. And then you'll have a little bit of footage about what happened with these other, who won the contest and the stuff that went on. So, you know, have some fun. But it's a pleasure, and you could always, you know, you're always welcome to come home. It's not
Yes.
home.
Yes. May I come back?
So
Translation for the Canadians. I'm coming back.
But I do want to thank you, Roger, for telling us about your journey, how you started ByBlacks, where you came from. He was an accountant and auditor, and look, you know, you just never know where your destiny's going to be.
Never know when you're going to land.
Or the destination.
Yeah,
so,
I'm telling you. They say people go through at least five career changes, so I'm hoping that this is the last. I don't think I want to change again. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Everybody, good night. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.